Hi all, I'm Ventos and I'm back with the English lesson. Today, as usual, within 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to take you through the English grammar, all about the linkers of cause and effect, something you might have come across in your English lesson with your English teachers at school, or it may be something you have never heard of before but have accidentally used them either in spoken or written English form. Well, in brief, linking words are important because they help us connect ideas and sentences when we speak or write in English, and they link two ideas in a way that shows a cause and effect relationship between them. I know that there are circumstances concerning the use of linkers of cause and effect in English. However, let's just spend our 10 to 15 minutes today only by looking at some very common linking words that can be used to express cause and effect in English language. Please have a closer look at some of the linking words of cause and effect in the table here. Because, as, because of, due to, owing to, thanks to, consequently, for this reason, so, as a result, therefore, thus, accordingly. We can divide this example of common linking words of cause and effect in the table into three categories, such as linking words of cause and effect as conjunctions, linking words of cause and effect as transitions, and the linking words of cause and effect as prepositions. Now, let's look at the first category as to the linking words of cause and effect as conjunctions. Here are some linking words that are categorized as conjunctions. In this case, they are because, as, since, and so, where because, as, and since are used to introduce a cause, while so introduces an effect. As, because, and since all introduce subordinate clauses. They connect the result of something with its reason. And they are used to link or join two complete sentences or independent clauses together. And they are often used or ordered like this. First sentence followed by the conjunction, then followed by the second sentence. Or first sentence followed by the conjunction, then followed by a comma, then followed by the second sentence. And this is only applied when the linking word as conjunction in this particular category is since. refer to these examples. Let's look at the first example sentence. I stayed at home because it was raining. Where in this case, I stayed at home is the first sentence followed by the linking word to express the cause as conjunction, which in this case is because, and then followed by the second sentence, it was raining. So in full, the sentence is I stayed at home because it was raining. Notice that in written English, there is neither a comma nor a semicolon nor a full stop after or before the linking word because as conjunctions as in the example sentence here. Also that the first part of the sentence, I stayed at home, tells us what happened, while the second part of the sentence, because it was raining, tells us why it happened. Where the linking word as conjunction because in this sentence introduces the cause is why it happens, and the effect is what happens. The same rule is also possible to be applied to the second sentence. I stayed at home as it was raining, as in the second option suggested, where in this sentence, I stayed at home is the first sentence, then followed by the linking word as conjunction, which in this case is as, then followed by the second sentence, it was raining. So, I stayed at home as it was raining. Now, moving on to the last sentence with the linking word since to describe a cause, where the sentence is constructed like this. First sentence followed by a comma, then followed by a conjunction, then followed by the second sentence. For example, I stayed at home since it was raining. Where in written English, I stayed at home is the first sentence followed by a comma, and then followed by the linking word as conjunction to describe a cause, which in this case is since, then followed by the second sentence, it was raining. So in full, the sentence is I stayed at home, or the sentence might look this way with so. In this case is the linking word as a conjunction to express the effect or result. First sentence, comma, conjunction, then second sentence. As in this example sentence, it was raining, so I stayed at home. So you see, in written English, the first sentence, it was raining, followed by a comma, and then followed by the linking word as conjunction to express the effect or result, which in this case is so, and then followed by the second sentence, so. In full, the sentence is it was raining, so I stayed at home. Please notice that so is the most common conjunction to express an effect in spoken English. However, it is not appropriate in written or formal English. You can also reverse the order of the sentences with the linking words because, as, and since come at the beginning of the sentences. And they are often ordered like this. Conjunctions placed at the beginning of the sentence, then followed by the first sentence, also known as the conjunction clause, then followed by a comma, then followed by the second sentence, as in these example sentences provided. Because it was raining, I stayed at home. As it was raining, I stayed at home. Since it was raining, I stayed at home. So, based on these examples here, in written English, you can see that in each sentence, please refer to the first example sentence. The linking word because, where in this case is a conjunction used to express a cause or reason, comes at the beginning of the sentence, then followed by the first sentence, it was raining, and then followed by a comma, then followed by the second sentence, I stayed at home, where in full the sentence is because it was raining, I stayed at home. Notice that we often put the linking word as conjunction, in this case is because, at the beginning of a sentence, because we would like to give the extra focus to. The same rules can also be applied to the second and the third example sentences with the linking words as and since as the conjunctions, where both are also used to describe a cause or reason, where they come at the beginning of the sentences followed by the first sentence again, it was raining, plus a comma, then followed by the second sentence, I stayed at home, where in full they are as it was raining, I stayed at home. Since it was raining, I stayed at home. As a reminder, when you order the sentences with the linking words, in this case are because, as, and since, being placed at the beginning of the sentences, as in the example sentences, don't forget to put a comma between the first and the second sentences. Please also notice that this is not possible with the linking word as conjunction to describe an effect or result, where in this case is so, because so cannot start a sentence. It is wrong to say, so it was raining, I stayed at home, because as said, so cannot start a sentence. Now, moving on to the next category with linking words for cause and effect as transitions. The most important transitions are the adverbs, such as therefore, consequently, as a result, accordingly, etc. They are used to join two main clauses to each other in written English. You can separate the two clauses either with a semicolon or with a full stop. But notice that the full stop is only applied when the subordinate clause is long, and make sure you put the comma after the adverb. Remember, all of these introduce an effect, and they will mostly come across in the sentences this way: either first sentence semicolon, transition, comma, second sentence, or when the subordinate clause is long, the sentence would be first sentence, full stop, transition, comma, second sentence. Please refer to the examples. Let's look at the first sentence with therefore, the linking word as a transition to express an effect. It was raining all day yesterday. therefore I stayed at home. So you see, in this sentence, it was raining is the first sentence. Remember, there is a semicolon after yesterday, then followed by therefore, where in this case is a linking word as transition to describe an effect. Again, remember, there is a comma after therefore, and then followed by the second sentence, I stayed at home. So it was raining all day yesterday, therefore I stayed at home. Please also refer to the other example sentences with the adverbs as transitions, where in this case are consequently and as a result. For example, Maria didn't wake up early. Consequently, she was late to school. Again, the sentence is started with Maria didn't wake up early as the first sentence, and then there is a semicolon after early, then followed by the linking word as a transition to describe an effect, where in this case is consequently, then followed by a comma, then with the second sentence placed after the adverb consequently. She was late to school, where in full the sentence is Maria didn't wake up early, consequently she was late to school. Next is this sentence here. Maria didn't wake up early, as a result she was late to school. When you look at this sentence carefully, the order looks pretty much the same to the first and the second sentences, as according to the written English form, where this sentence is again started with Maria didn't wake up early, then followed by a semicolon after early, then followed by the linking word as a transition to describe an effect, where in this case is as a result, then followed by a comma, then with the second sentence, she was late to school, placed at the end of the sentence or after the linking word as a transition as a result, plus a comma. So in full, Maria didn't wake up early. As a result, she was late to school. Now refer to the next example sentence with the adverbs consequently and as a result, with a full stop after a long subordinate clause or before that transition. For example, he didn't wake up early yesterday morning. Consequently, he was late to school. Or, he didn't wake up early yesterday morning. As a result, he was late to school. Again, this sentence, the sentence, he didn't wake up early yesterday morning, is the first sentence, followed by the full stop. And for you to know that the full stop is applied only when the subordinate clause is long, and then followed by the linking word as transitions to describe an effect, which in this case is either with consequently or as a result, then with a comma, after either consequently or as a result, then followed by the second sentence, where in this case is he was late to school. So the sentence are he didn't wake up early yesterday morning. Consequently, he was late to school. Or he didn't wake up early yesterday morning. As a result, he was late to school. A little note to everyone that the use of therefore and consequently are formal and appropriate in formal situation and in written English. Okay, it's now the last category with the linking words for cause and effect as prepositions. The most Common important prepositions are due to, because of, owing to, and thanks to, etc. But let's just focus only on by looking at the linking words as prepositions, because of and due to, or also known as the compound prepositions. Therefore, they need to be followed by a noun or a gerund form of a verb, not by a clause, and often are used to introduce a cause in the form of a noun phrase, and they are often used like this. Sentence due to noun phrase, or because of noun phrase sentence. Noun phrase because of second sentence. Let's look at the first sentence with due to. I stayed at home due to the rain. In this sentence, I stayed at home is the sentence followed by due to, the linking word as preposition to describe a cause, and then followed by the noun phrase the rain. So, I stayed at home due to the rain. Remember, there is no either a comma, a semicolon, or a full stop being placed between the sentence I stayed at home and due to, or between due to and the noun phrase the rain. Now, please refer to the other examples with because of being put either before the noun phrase the rain or between the noun phrase and the second clause. Please refer to the examples. Because of the rain, I stayed at home, or I stayed at home because of the rain. Please remember that in written English, if you start with because of, the linking word as a preposition to express a cause, then followed by the noun phrase the rain, you must separate the two clauses or sentences with a comma, as in the sentences, and as in the sentence, because of the rain, comma, I stayed at home. Or when with because of being placed in between the noun phrase and the second sentence, remember there is neither a comma, a semicolon, nor a full stop being placed either before or after the linking word as preposition. For example, I stayed at home because of the rain. Remember, because of and due to are synonyms. Because of is formal in both formal and informal English. However, due to is more formal and appropriate in formal situations and written English. Alright, as usual, to conclude our lesson today, I would like to remind you on the WHO's continuing encouragement on the individuals in the world, and that is of course including us, all of the individuals in Timor-Leste, to take care of our own health and protect others during the COVID-19 pandemic by washing hands frequently with water and soap or using hand sanitizing gel, maintaining social distancing, keeping a distance of 1 meter or 3 feet between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing, avoiding touching eyes, nose and mouth, following respiratory hygiene, covering your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough and sneeze, then disposing of the used tissue immediately, seeking medical care early if you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, and staying informed and following advice given by your authority, your healthcare provider, national and local public health authority, or your employer on how to protect yourself and others from the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, you have been fantastic learners. Goodbye.